Hello everybody and welcome back to the 5-Star Potential Podcast Social. We are on to episode 12, day 12 of our daily lockdown podcast. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and alongside me today, as you can see, some more of my favourite FM friends. My name is Dave, and alongside me today I'm joined by Joe, Friday I can't get my words out today, Friday night
Sunday morning FM.
Yeah. Joe, how are you, man?
I'm good, mate. I'm absolutely knackered, but I'm good.
Good, man. Good. I mean, you've had an early start today. You're probably up earlier than all of us, I'd assume.
Mate, I slept for about an hour, I think, last night.
Oh,
An hour?
An hour, yeah. Dupe, how's it going, man? How's your morning been?
Yeah, mate, it's not great. I mean, I don't want to take the... Joe's got a newborn baby, so I haven't really got much to moan about, but my little boy just didn't want to sleep last night, so we went to go have an early night last night, and then decided I watched literally nearly all of The Last Dance last night because he didn't want to sleep. So I woke up and we've run out of milk, so I couldn't even have any cereal, mate. So today's been a whopper of a day.
Nice shirt, Nice shirt though, isn't it? That.
It's not a shirt, Dave. This is painted on.
All right. Didn't get one. And alongside us today is the special guest for today's episode, Mr. Viking Dan. Dan, how's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad. I kind of feel bad saying I'm tired, but I don't have kids, so I'm probably not tired as either of these two.
Mate, I was tired when I didn't have kids, so it's fine.
Everyone's tired. Lockdown fever has hit. Dan, like you said beforehand, you've sort of watched a few of these, so you sort of know what we talk about, the sort of route we take with these podcasts, or anything goes really, but just to learn a little bit more about you, what life has been like in 2020. It's been a nightmare for most people, as I'm sure you'll know, but Lockdown 2 was announced a couple of weekends ago. What was your sort of immediate reaction to that one?
Lockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, I mean, like Ben said yesterday, like, too late almost. Like, I work in retail, same as yourself, Dave, and like you see the pattern of how things are going, and not to sound like I was being paranoid or anything, but it's like the amount of people that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. It's just all I'm seeing is numbers going higher and higher. It's like just the flippancy of a lot of people. Like, obviously a lot that aren't, but like the flippancy of a lot of people around are just. I wasn't surprised, I'll put it that way, that things were going the way that they were. And obviously it finally came in. I was kind of, after the first one, I was a bit more prepared. So like I know what to expect. But yeah, like I said, I knew it was coming. It was just a case of when rather than if. And I was a bit more prepared for it this time. But still, it's rough. I'm lucky in the fact that the place that I work has furloughed me rather than letting me go. I know a lot of people haven't had that same luxury, but still at the same time it means I'm trying to get by on less than I'm used to. So like I understand the money stresses and things. But yeah, we'll get by. We'll figure it out.
So obviously, what are you doing? Obviously now, were you furloughed during lockdown 1 as well? Throughout.
Yeah. Well, lockdown 1 was weird. So in the first lockdown, the company that I work for went into administration. So I was in danger of losing my job then. Luckily, someone came in, stepped in and bought it, but it completely changed the structure of like how we get paid and when we get paid. So it essentially meant that second month of lockdown with my furlough pay, which didn't have any commission with it because it's a commission-based job. So I was on 80% of my base rate, and then they changed the pay date 2 weeks later. So I was trying to get by on this much reduced wage for 6 weeks rather than 4, and all I can say is thank God that I stream. You know, like literally that month, people who very kindly subscribe and drop bits, I'll do whatever, is what saw me through that month. Or else I was exhausted my savings, I'll put it that way. Just getting through that, and it's still kind of like I'm living very frugally at the minute. But like I say, I'm still very wary of the fact that there's people in much worse situations and things. So like,
Are you still making your 10-day meals?
Yeah.
I remember you saying he's like, oh, I'm on day 6 of eating this pasta bolognese or whatever it was.
It's like, yeah, I'll just bulk cook. Well, it's just that as well. Is like I really like cooking, but I live on my own, and I just can't be bothered spending an hour in the kitchen to make myself something really nice for one night. It's like it's a bit indulgent. So I'll just bulk cook stuff.
I think it's sensible for anybody, really, even if you're in a good position, because I mean, we've been it's been mentioned to us this week that my wife, they're looking at restructuring. So, and she's worked all the way through. She's not been furloughed. She's not had time off. So, I think for anybody it's just, you just never know. This day and age, you just never know. And the only advice I'd say is we just try and be as sensible as you can with it. Like for me, like my camera broke yesterday. We all know that. I've said it yesterday. And any other month, day, year, I'd have just bought a new one and it'd have been here today. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen. So yes, it's 600 quid, and it's only 600 quid. You know, to some people that's a lot of money. To some people it's not. But that could be the difference between, you know, 7 weeks of shopping for a family of 4, or me just get a camera so you guys can see my ugly mug a little bit cleaner. So yeah, it's just, I think definitely me. Like Christmas this year, I don't think me and the wife are going to do presents this year. We're just like financially, we're just going to try and save as much money just in case, because you just don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah,
All up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the same with obviously the government grants from the first lockdown. I've heard stories of companies going out to buy cars with the grants and everything, whereas some companies have sat on it because, like you say, they didn't know what was going to happen. We could have had another lockdown. We could have been in that lockdown for months and months. And obviously the second lockdown's come. I think some councils are probably doing little grants, but there's some companies out there that have splashed all that money on things that weren't really essential, and probably things they shouldn't really be doing.
You do say that. On the flip side of that, though, that increases the economy for businesses that are struggling.
Yeah, I suppose.
So if you go out and buy a car, when the car industry is obviously struggling, if you go out and buy a new car because you've got that grant, instead of paying, 7, 8, 9, 10% APR, you're getting it at 1% from a government grant. So you're continuing to see spending in retail.
I suppose,
so it does work. Sitting on it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you're probably right.
Kind of the reason why they've done it is, obviously, first of all, was job retention, but then the grant is putting money back into the economy. So, you might have seen people getting grants and they want to get new fireplaces.
I mean, the thing is like, as much as there's a lot of criticism for the Eat Out, Help Out scheme, there's a lot of positives that came from that for that industry. Now, I personally think they should do a Eat at Home to Help Out sort of scheme.
So Miles Street, something like that
let's
as well, yeah.
Let's get the same scheme, but just on takeaways only, for example. But like, I just think the amount that's helped that industry, perfect. But then obviously there's a lot of discussions that caused a massive spike in it. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. The only way out of this is by spending money, right? And keeping everything ticking over and keeping everything turning over. But I just think at times where you're not sure when what's going to come in next month, you just got to be tight with it, and I mean sensible with it. I'm very lucky. I live with my wife. There's 2 incomes coming in our household, and for Dan, I can totally see why it's a scary thing to be, man.
Yeah.
Keep eating those 10 meals, right? I'll send you some recipes over with my meal prep stuff.
I've been admiring your meal prep, yeah.
Yeah, they've worked really well, Dan.
Supposed to eat them every other day,
The meal preps are fine, mate. It's the fucking 4 selection boxes, the bag of crisps, the bag of popcorn, and the biscuits I got here. That's the problem, mate.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, like living more frugal, it has meant I think I've lost a little bit of weight, just due to the fact that I'm not going out and buying. I've never been a big like sweet eater, but definitely not going out and buying some beers or buying a bottle of wine and stuff. It's just stop me doing that, and that's just it's drinking your calories. That's terrible.
Yeah, Dave's done the same though. Like Dave's seen that you save money on shampoo, so Dave shaved his.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Yeah, the money he saved now. It's the hair gel. His hair gel is just.
I've never gelled my hair in ages. It's probably been about a year since I've gelled my hair as well. To be fair, proper throwbacks. Now, I was got little stuff like I think I said the other day though. Like I know it's not as major, but like even during the last lockdown, every time I'd go out, I think I'll buy a bottle of Pepsi just to drink for the next few days, and I've not done that at all. Literally, all I'm drinking is water.
One thing I have done though, and I mean this is probably costing me more money, but I've definitely thought about where I'm buying my stuff recently. So yes, we'll go into town or I'll walk the dog. I'm not going to Costa or to Starbucks or any other chain is available. I'm going to the little ones, the independents, and I find myself doing that a lot more. Whereas like normally we'd go to just to Tesco's or to Waitrose or to get all of our weekly shop. Well, actually, what we'll do is we'll go get the essentials and then we'll go down to the local butcher and get that stuff. Yes, it costs a little bit more money for us, but it's the local community that you would think that we're supporting and helping.
It's nicer stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean,
But our town's doing this thing. Yeah, our town's doing this thing. It's like £10 a week with local places, and it's like fucking millions of pounds it generates.
yeah,
If everyone goes spend £10 locally a week, if everyone done it in the town, then the town will be this better off rather than going to Tesco's and.
Yeah,
But then, to be
100%.
fair, like Tesco and everyone are getting involved in it, saying go and buy some stuff from there.
Well, you saw the
Yeah.
Burger King advert, right?
Yeah.
Burger King advert saying, look,
Yeah.
let's put feuds aside, just go spend money anyway. Just spend it. Like, for me, it's our local butcher down the road. For me, they did the lockdown special, which was, I think it was 40 quid. And it was just like a massive hamper full of meat that you could, like, freezable meat and stuff. Like, it would last the whole year. The whole lockdown. And stuff like that, it's good value. It's just, and you're supporting the local.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go. We had a local greengrocer to us, and he said like during lockdown they were doing phone orders, and they just couldn't cope with the orders anymore.
No.
Because they were doing like hampers, and they'd have to go into work at 6 a.m. and like people were calling up like non-regulars sort of thing, and like saying, "Oh, can I have this hamper?" He's like, basically he was prioritising the people that used to go in there when it wasn't lockdown because he was that busy anyway. But like he just couldn't cope with the demand. It was ridiculous, and you'd think sometimes like he was quite clever with it because he sorted that out like right as lockdown hit. Whereas some greengrocers probably packed up, or some shops have probably packed up. He used his initiative a little bit and did that. And he said just all throughout lockdown it was ridiculous. So he was still selling stuff and obviously helping the local community because that's just a small local greengrocers. But I think there's plenty of places that have done that, but plenty of local places that do need the help as well. Well, even I think Pokes mentioned it yesterday. Greg's as well. They're really struggling, and I think recently they've come onto like Uber Eats and the delivery sites as well, haven't they? So they're obviously needing.
Genius.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to struggle at some point. And I think even the company I work for, we do deliver to the NHS, but we are busier than we've ever been. But there's going to be a time where when they're going to stock up on so much stock that once we come out of this, that company is then going to go, actually, we don't need to be producing that much, so we need to let some people go. So it is a long-term thing, but I think that the one feeling I do get is especially in the communities, there's a lot of togetherness, and there's a lot of that community spirit, which which is good. You've got to take the positives from it, right?
Yeah.
It feels like there's a lot more banding together, a lot less isolationary thinking. Just because we are some people don't think that we are, but we are all in this together.
Yeah. Obviously during lockdown 1, Dan, you did a fair bit of streaming. Outside of that, what did you get up to? Learn much skills? Cook many new meals or...
Bulk cooking.
Yeah.
Honestly, no. Like this first lockdown, streaming kind of like I'd changed my stream time to like I'd start a bit earlier in the day, but streaming basically saw me through it. Like if I wasn't streaming or I didn't have like the community around it, I'd have struggled a lot more. And I'd honestly, like, if we're opening up in these things, I did struggle quite a lot in that first time. Obviously, like living on my own, I'm used to working in a high street retail environment, so I'm used to being around people. Seeing people, even if in my free time I'm not like overly social or outgoing. Not seeing people kind of hit me hard. Not seeing family and friends and stuff that hit me pretty hard. And like I say, without having that, I don't want to say support network, but just like people around, like to talk to, and like being able to go live and talk to people and interact with people, I'd have struggled a lot. And I spent quite a lot of time just like watching streams. But I did kind of I got into that routine of finding excuses to not do stuff, or like thinking, oh, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. But kind of like, I went through like peaks and troughs with it a little bit, and I have struggled with mental health in the past, and probably will always do. But that, yeah, having that there really helps. And I've had a load of people, like, I've had people say that watching streams or YouTube videos or kind of having the creators there, that extra time in those lockdown times helps. And I can totally see it from the flip side. Like if you're feeling part of a community that you can go to daily or every other day, or like there's a group of people that travels around streams, and like you feel like you're in a friend group there, and it helps you feel a bit more involved, especially if you're living on your own. Like it's it's not easy when you're being told to not go see people when you're literally seeing the same four walls every day.
Well, yeah, you touched upon friends and family. How have you coped with that? Like, have you been able to keep in touch with both of those since the first lockdown?
Well, I've been doing like the pub Zoom things. I think everyone has with mate, and it's
up the quiz.
Yeah, it's been nice actually, because the friends that I like, my friends group is still, my core friend group is still people that I went to like primary and high school with, because I grew up in a pretty small town, and we're still really close, but we've all like dispersed across the country, so we'd probably see each other more during lockdown than we do in the year. Like we'll meet up like once or twice, 2 or 3 times a year maybe, usually. But in lockdown, it's like every other week we'll have a meet up and online and have a chat. I've not seen my parents since the start of the first lockdown this time. Because when they closed down the lockdown, like my parents are getting on now, and they live quite a way away. So they were still kind of like staying fairly reclusive. So I've not seen either of my parents this year pretty much, other than like February, March.
So are they quite far away then?
Not hugely far away, but I don't drive, and so it'd be a case of me taking public transport into the city centre to get 2 or 3 lots of public transport out to go see them, and vice versa really. So it's just one of those things of like we've said, like, we're keeping in touch, but we just said we'll meet up when we can, like when it's a bit more safe, rather than like just taking undue travel risks and stuff.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Obviously, for Christmas. Do you normally spend Christmas with them? Do you?
Yeah. So I'll usually go home for a few days, and do that. But like retail, like, so I'm working through Christmas. Like I don't get the time off between Christmas and New Year, so I usually try and finagle a few years off around New Year's, or like a day or two off after Christmas, and I'll go and spend a couple of days up there. Yeah. But hopefully we're able to do that this year. Yeah. But we'll see, I guess. Yeah. It's all just very hands in the air at the minute, isn't
it? Obviously, you touched upon your mental health struggles, obviously, in the past and so on. Like, obviously, it's quite hard situation to talk about, really, sometimes. But how have you ever coped with that? Have you ever reached out to people? Have you had that support network that you can always almost go to when you've had these struggles?
It's a weird one, that, like, I've never had, like, when you say reaching out, like, I've never really reached out to speak about things I'm going through, or like issues that I'm struggling with, but I've never felt that I can't just strike up a conversation with someone. Like, just having someone to talk to, like, even just to take your mind off things, can help so much in those kind of situations. And I know, like, everyone always says, and has been saying, like, DMs are open, or emails are open, or you can reach out to me and talk. It's like, but no one's a psychologist or psychiatrist, and like, and I think if you're hitting really low points, then you definitely need to reach out to those kind of people. But if you're feeling low, if you're feeling down, if you're just feeling overwhelmed or something, like, even just a distraction, it's like just having a chat with someone, saying, "What have you been up to today? What do you have for lunch?" Just take your mind off the monotony of, like, your own mind, because you can really beat yourself up, and the more you insulate, and the more you kind of just reinforce your own negative thoughts, it's really easy to kind of go down that path and go down that spiral. Whereas if you can just reach out to someone and go, "How are things? Do you want to play a bit of Among Us, or do you want to just have just a bit of whatever, like just play a bit of a game or have a bit of a chat, or like we have been. How's your party been going? Playing on FM and just having a bit of a community, and it's something that obviously is streaming has really helped with that, because I can boot up my stream, I can talk to people, I can take my mind off things, I can kind of keep doing that, but also just reaching out to people and having a chat really helps. And I've never not had that. I've never not had the ability to do that. But in terms of reaching out and talking about things that I'm going through or struggles that I'm having, it's something that I'm not good at personally, and it's something that I definitely need to learn to talk about, because when I have done it in the past, it does literally feel like a weight off your chest at times, like, cause you can just build it up for yourself, and you can work yourself up to a point where you feel like you're choking sometimes, and like even just saying something to someone, it's like, oh, like getting it out does help, but it's something that I'm not good at. And it's something I need to learn to do. But I know like the ways to go about it, and there's people there I can talk to. I know that.
It's good to know that you have got that network there. Obviously, we've had some people that sometimes don't know who to talk to, or maybe people that it's been quite fresh and new to them and never really experienced it before. Like you say, with lockdown, it's like with people living alone as well. It's just so hard. And like with your lifestyle, like you say, working in the hustle and bustle, public transport where there's tens of people on, working in like a high street store as well, like, you're just used to people, and then going through like 2 or 3 months barely seeing a single soul unless you're going shopping. It's a bit of a big change.
The anxiety of it all as well, like, obviously I'm used to working in a busy city centre in a busy shop using busy public transport, and it just... And then, like, within the space of a week, it's like, all of this is bad. Like, you don't want to be around people. Stay away from people. Okay, stay away. Don't go outside. It's like, I'm on my own now. It was such a juxtaposition, and like the anxiety of what what the norm is being bad. It's been weird.
But you've been keeping okay recently since the second lockdown, though. Is that like, have you managed to get your head around it a little bit more, or is it?
Yeah, like I say, I'm a bit more prepared for it this time. I'm a bit more kind of... I think the first one, because no one knew the time scale of it. Like, it was just kind of week by week, see what happens.
Yeah.
Now we've been given this, like, this month, whether it is a month or what, but, like, at least now, personally, I feel a bit more prepared for what to expect from it. So, like, I can kind of try and compartmentalize things and have ideas of what to do and ways to keep myself occupied. But even then, like, I still find myself slipping into that. I'll wake up at 9. Oh, it's 11:30. I've just lay in bed. Like, I've done nothing.
Never mind.
Yeah, and it's just that kind of not. There's been that big thing of use the time to grow an extra skill, do this, do that, like, progress yourself. It's like, well, yeah, people got free extra time, but it's not necessarily the best mental time to be doing this. Like, so I'll put that out there. If you feel like you've wasted your furlough or like lockdown, don't, because you've got to deal with the mental capacity, the mental side of it. Like, don't beat yourself up if you've not learnt a new skill. Basically, don't let people bully you into that. It's time that can be used, but don't feel bad if it's something you're struggling with.
You got to look at the bigger picture with it, right? The fact that you've actually come through it is one big positive, And
it's not like it's not a sabbatical, It's not like the world's not in normality at the minute, is it?
And everyone's in the same boat. That it's just, you got to take the positives from it. You can't beat yourself up for it. You really can't.
And yeah, so like, just give yourself a break.
I mean, you did do a good skill. You got the treble at Deportivo, right?
Hell yeah. That's going on the CV.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. I'm rewriting mine just to include the Palermo stuff. It's fine.
I will say as well, on a positive, the FM streamer Showdown Lowdown wouldn't be a thing without Viking Dan. So
exactly that.
Oh, yeah.
You say about learning a new skill, mate.
I learned how to host a thing and not completely cock it up. Well, no,
We
like
didn't
that.
have a power cut, so that's a positive.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Although OBS did try to kibosh it once, but
Yeah.
I think I had like 3 crashes in the space of about 40 minutes. But
OBS
yeah, like
and crashing, name a bit more iconic duo.
but yeah, like that as well. Like the whole the community coming together around that, and not just the people that are involved in it, like people that are watching it. The streamer showdown, that is. Ben deserves a lot of credit for getting that together, and especially like I know it's been said it couldn't have been timed better for the success of it, like going into lockdown. But I personally don't think it could have been timed better for people. Just like having that, like something to look forward to, something where, you know, if you watch FM streams, the likelihood of 2 or 3 of your favorite streamers being on there is pretty high. So like you can get involved in it, you can go and support someone, you can have a club at a time when football's not happening, you know, and you can have that, you know, that following football feeling almost, even though it's very different. But yeah, props to Ben for getting that off the ground, and props to everyone who's put numerous hours into it. Like I know you're really heavily involved as well, Joe. I've done stuff behind the scenes. I think we all have. Like just it was a good time to get the community like really bonded together.
Something to do, didn't it?
Yeah, something to do, something to keep your mind occupied. And like I said, I think it's been said before, like it's always been quite I think, you know, maybe present company excluded, like the FM community has always been quite an isolationary one. Like you do your own thing. Like there might be a little bit of interaction here and there, but generally speaking, it's everyone out for themselves.
Yeah.
And having, you know, most of the bigger streamers and content creators, and bringing in smaller streamers and content creators, and having those like the communities all getting together and being involved in a certain in one thing, and you know, making something of it has been great. And personally, like just being able to speak to these people, like the people that I've never really kind of interacted with, like Jack and well everyone who's been involved in it, really has been an eye-opening and a good experience. And hopefully like the viewers are doing that as well. Like maybe they're finding streamers they didn't know about, or liking streamers that they didn't think they liked. And it's been a good thing, not just for the streaming community, but just for people, like the community in general, like having another thing to look forward to, really. Just to have something to look forward to in lockdown's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah. We normally leave this question till last, really, but now we're on the topic. What has been your sort of favourite moment or favourite season of the streamer showdown?
I really liked you on the lowdown last time. Your 8 minutes you did on the lowdown. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really liked the last one for the amount of prep that I got to do. No,
I did alright in that, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean the ones that I've been in, I don't think there's any that I've really hated.
The final one, yeah.
There was the final against Lujo where I went, was it 10 men after about 15 minutes? It's like, well, it's like, there we go, it's done.
Great, mate. Yeah.
I can't think of a particular one that I enjoyed the most. I really liked, I think it was the 3rd or 4th season, so like I think it might be the last one that I hosted. I feel like I've just really enjoyed that as a season, because I think loads of stuff happened, and I like being on that.
Yeah.
The meme. But
Get on a t-shirt.
Get it selt. But yeah, I think it was just that was an enjoyable season, and I do like being on the lowdown. I was like, as much as I enjoyed being in the tournament last time, and gutted that you had to jump out, Dupe. I was gutted that I missed out being on the lowdown, because I like watching the games. I like seeing the bigger
Less
picture.
pressure, right?
Yeah, I don't know actually. Like, I didn't feel the pressure too much in any of them, because I don't think anyone ever really expected me to win anything. And I think I did pretty well. Like I did all right. Like I won the league once. I've been to a final. I've
like
not.
Only to a dreamer. It's weird though. Like I think it's actually harder work being on the lowdown. Yeah, you kind of. I feel there's less pressure being on the showdown, being on the lowdown, and like they're both very equally enjoyable. I mean, the three of us, me, yourself, and Dave, we've been on kind of flipped between the both of them, right? But I don't know. I still don't think you can beat that that competition, you know, and actually being on it.
I just like playing the game. Like, so, like, I really enjoy it, but I'd like to be. Obviously, I've hosted it at the Lowdown a few times.
I mean,
I'd like to be
you've done
there
it
as
all,
a.
haven't
Yeah, I'd like to be on the panel, like, for a weekend. Would be nice. I think. Give that a go.
Half an
Get
hour.
a Dan that can do it all.
Yeah. I'll just be the John O'Shea of the streamer showdown. Where do you need me?
Obviously, you said before we started as well. We move on to your interest now. Books is what we normally kick off with, Dan. Favourite book? What are you reading at the moment? Are you a big reader?
You ain't got a bookcase, Dan. I'm concerned. Dave can't flex the size of his.
It's just a short
Yeah,
one.
it's that.
That's
It's a curly one.
Just a low one.
Because it's short. That's brutal.
But yeah, I used to read a lot more than I do. I used to commute a lot more. So like my commute to work now is about 15-20 minutes. It used to be around about an hour. So I don't read as much as I do. I find it hard to put myself in the mental space to read now. Like the only time I really commute is if I'm flying somewhere, and obviously right now I'm not flying anywhere. Or doing like long commutes and stuff. And that sitting down with a book to read is like it's not a thing that crosses my mind usually. I'm a big watcher of documentaries, like whether it be YouTube or Netflix or whatever. So if I'm with a bit of free time, I'm usually doing like a bit of background work, like, you know, stream work, just like housekeeping, with that on in the background. And the thing I've been doing recently, the last few months, is like classical. I've always been a big fan of classical history, so like a load of like Roman and Greek history and stuff, and watching loads of documentaries about that. And that's been my kind of like escape from the streaming FM football sport world thing. So I've been doing that. But the last book that I started, I've not finished it. I got about a third of the way through, and I've not picked it up since. Behind the Iron Curtain. Jonathan Wilson and like Eastern European football.
Wow.
Really, really liked it. Like it reminded me, like, what coming on today thinking, oh, what book can I recommend? It's like, this was great until I stopped reading it. So I'm actually going to pick it back up. I'm gonna start from the previous chapter and start again, I think, because I was really enjoying that, and I think Jonathan Wilson just is a good writer. I've enjoyed his books in the past, and I've actually got a few of his books that I've not even opened yet. But like, I do that thing of like, oh cool, yeah, I really want to read that, and I'll buy it, and it'll go on the bookshelf, and then I'll never open it. Like, it's like, I'll read that. It's like, no, I won't. Who am I kidding?
That's why I got rid of all of mine. I had loads that I can't even read. I don't even
They look nice though, don't they?
Yeah, that's what it is. Makes it look like I'm clever.
You just need a little bookshelf behind you so you can have the football books. It just looks like you know what you're talking about.
Good shout. I'm going to buy them all.
But yeah, that's the one I reckon. I really enjoyed that, and obviously like the usuals, like Inverting the Pyramid is like a football bible if you're into the tactical side of things, which I definitely am. Like I'm really into tactics and stats and kind of philosophies of football, rather than, I'd probably say more that than actually just watching football and supporting a football team. That's more my bag. Is the tactical statistical side of things, which wouldn't surprise people. I don't think. I don't know who plays for who. I couldn't tell you anything about 90s football, but I can tell you. I can tell you the key attributes for a deep line playmaker. And I can play Tom McTominay up front. Scott McTominay up front.
Libero, mate. It's all about the libero at the moment.
David Silva is a libero.
That lad loves it. You got any recommendations today, Joe?
No.
Yes. Brilliant. Nothing on that bookcase? No? On that shelf?
Mate, I could. Shall I pull? I'll pull something off.
Go
on.
And then what about the book?
Let's have a look. We'll go Jonathan Wilson.
Yeah.
No,
We'll
November.
go Jonathan
I don't know what you're
Wilson.
talking about.
The biggest book you will find.
Angels with Dirty Faces.
Angels with Dirty Faces.
I've actually read that one.
No, you haven't.
I have.
There is no way you've read this.
We do a page a night. Jay reads it to me.
It's like 540 pages.
Average a page a
But
year.
yeah, really,
so.
really good. Obviously, just the footballing history of Argentina. And again, Jonathan Wilson, because he's just the GOAT.
But Dupe, you normally have a moan at me if I skip you. But so have you got one today or not?
I can't tell you mine because of what I said earlier about wasting money, and I cannot tell you that my favourite book at the moment is the Panini sticker book for Euros 2020.
I completed the last Euros one, I bet.
Completed it, mate.
Yeah.
No, I've not got a book today, Dave. No book.
No problem. Moving on to TV shows, films. Dan, you a big Netflix, Amazon Prime watcher?
Like I said before, like I tend to watch YouTube a lot of the time. So like I'll go subscribe to. Let's get some real words out this time. I'll subscribe to a lot of YouTube documentary channels, things like that. When I'm on Netflix, I kind of just tend to go back to the old faithful. Like it's just like TV series, like US Office or like Always Sunny, Peep Show, that kind of stuff. You know, like I'll just tend to have that on.
Saved by the Bell, Keenan and Kel, all that.
Oh
jazz.
yeah, the good stuff. You know, the classics.
Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold is class, right?
But like one series that I rewatched about a week or so ago that I'll do every few years, Spaced, that kind of classic British Channel 4 comedy. Yeah,
I've not seen it.
you know, it's really good. It's one of those things that I can. Doesn't matter how many times I've watched it, I can stick it on and like I'll just binge it. It's only 2 series, but it's just really good. It's just about a sort of like late 20s, 30-somethings living in London and getting up to hijinks. It's good. It's good. It's well written. It's what's his name? From Hot Fuzz.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, yeah.
Oh, is it him? Is it?
Yeah, Simon Pegg and Bill Bailey and
What's
all
it
those
called
people.
again, sorry?
Spaced.
Space.
Do you know Bill Bailey's not actually Bill Bailey? Bill Bailey's first name isn't Bill.
Was it William?
Did you know that?
What?
No, it's not. It's something completely different. I read it somewhere. I'm like, surprising that I read it, right? I can't remember what his actual name is now. It's Mark. His real name's Mark. Yeah, I know. There you go. Fun fact of the day. His middle name's Robert. It's not even Bill.
Mark Bailey.
It came from school. I was reading it. It came from like one of his teachers just called him Bill. So it just stuck with Bill
Everyone
Bailey.
just spoke to
Misheard. I get that all the time. Like whenever I say my name, it's like, what's your name? It's Dan. Oh, hi Ben.
Henrik.
Ben. So I just get Ben all the time. So like I've bented like certain people at work.
It's funny because at work they ask me what my name is. I tell them and they just call me dickhead. So I guess that's the same sort of way, right? Must have just misheard me.
Yeah. I know I spoke to about Joe and Dupe and of a Channel 4 comedy, Phone Shop. He's a good one to go back to watch as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the clips. I watched one clip of it because I was gonna clip something for an alert, and it just literally all on my YouTube funny bits. I was like, right, I need to watch that back again. That's another good one as well.
It's one that I think I've only caught like snippets or like the odd episode here or there, and it's too real for me. It's too real. Like it's like the amount of people going, "Oh, have you seen this? It's ridiculous." It's like, no, that's literally what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like working in the shop.
High street.
That is high street retail right there. It's like I live it. I can't watch it.
I
haven't watched much, but I think the bits I've seen on YouTube is funny.
The thing is that like you watch funny bit compilations and it's like the whole episodes. Like you watch an episode, it's like, oh, I've just seen that on YouTube. Like the whole episode, like all of it is funny. Like there's no bits that are not really. So yeah, I do recommend that one. Dupe, I know you've just finished have you finished the Michael Jordan film?
I'm close. I've probably right at the end of the 4th quarter of it. Closing in at the end. But no, I'm trying to find something to line up now. I think I get like the momentum, and I'll start getting into the habit of watching a couple of episodes before I go to bed and stuff. But no, I've got nothing to kind of go to next. I might have to rewatch this Grand Prix because this looked like it was actually quite decent at the end. So, and we wanted to record in the morning. Whose idea was that? I didn't know it was so early.
What about you, Joe? One series that
Still on Parks.
Go on.
Still on Parks and Recreation, but Billions has just come back on, so I've got a few episodes of that to catch up on the new series. But that's like a Sky Atlantic one. Damian Lewis, what's his name? Is it Paul?
Paul Jewell?
Jim Arty or whatever his name is. But that's very good. It's about basically it's the kind of US stock market. You've got a trader, and then you've got an attorney general, and they're linked by the attorney general's wife who works for this stockbroker, and basically he made his money out of 9/11, and then kind of trades on the very thin line of what's right, what's wrong, and then you've got like the attorney general who's just constantly trying to kind of catch him out and take him down. But it's very good series, and I'm looking forward to watching the new series.
Nice one.
Speaking of series, I nearly started rewatching House of Cards the other day because I never watched the final series because of the whole Kevin Spacey being in it.
Yeah.
But the first few series of that were outstanding, I thought. If you like a more like slow burner, cerebral type show rather than something that's like an action TV series. It's about politics in America, essentially, and it's just really good. The first few series of that were really, really good. If you want something to de-stress and wind down to, it's good because you can just kind of. It takes quite a lot of concentration to follow what's going on, but it's not over the top, and it's just the acting in it and writing is brilliant.
There's been a lot of Breaking Bad talk the last couple of days. Like I know you said, Joe, sort of the third series is where it kicks off. I think I actually got to the third series, the start of the third series, and I don't know why. It was years ago now. I just never watched it again, and I just could never get back into it. So I think over the next few weeks,
where it gets good.
Yeah, and over the next few weeks, I think I'm going to start it again, start from the beginning. Because some of the episodes in series 1, I think it was towards the end, I really enjoyed as well. So yeah, I'll have to start that one from the beginning and see how that goes as well.
Big fan of Breaking Bad. I think I always say with Breaking Bad is like the first two series aren't the most entertaining, but it's so vital for setting the scene. Yeah, it's almost the moroseness of some of it sets up everything else, and it's like when you watch it for the second or third time, because I think I've watched it 3 times now, you understand why it needs to be like that to set it up, because it's the juxtaposition of everything. It's just so good. And actually, another TV series, if you want something that's almost that level, is the first series of True Detective. Is phenomenal. It could have been a movie, but it's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and incredible writing staff. It could have been a movie, but it was I think it's only, is it 4 or 5 episodes or something? It's only a short series.
But it's a proper head fuck though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's phenomenal.
Someone's thought that up.
Yeah. So if you want essentially a 4-part movie, I'd recommend that. It's very, very good.
One thing I stumbled across, must have been end of last week, was Ballers. I think you spoke to me about it before, Joe, saying that it's got The Rock in it, right?
Good.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was a random episode and I watched the last 20 minutes. I thought, I'll go and find that. And I haven't been able to find it. Oh, actually, I probably haven't really looked hard for it. But I wonder whether that's on Netflix. I might start watching through there.
What's that one about?
Very good.
It's NFL.
It's basically, it's the Rock. He's an ex NFL player, becomes a sports agent, and it basically is just them with. There's loads of famous NFL players or former NFL players. Russell Brand is in it at some point. It's kind of one of those easy watch American
NFL
programs.
Player, yeah. It looks good. It looks enjoyable.
I'll keep my eye out for that.
I have to watch it.
Yeah. Well then, podcasts as well, Dan. Are you a big podcast listener, or any that you've listened to previously that you'd recommend?
Same kind of thing with the commuting. I used to listen to more when I commuted, but I've commuted for longer anyway. But that's been years, really. I've listened to most of the 5-star stuff. I've been listening to this. There'll be the odd thing that I think isn't technically a podcast, but it'll be like a YouTube Talking Heads section.
Yeah.
And I'll watch things like that. I watch quite a lot of tech reviews and PC stuff on that. And again, history stuff. I find history stuff's my escape because it's so different to what I do, whether it be in work or streaming. It's not sport, it's not it's not work, and it's just a nice escape. And I always enjoyed history when I was studying. So yeah, there's a couple of really good channels. Like there's History Time, and there's a YouTube channel called Lindy Beige who does a lot of just like talking at the camera stuff, which is essentially a podcast. Really, it's just like a one-man podcast. I really enjoy those, and like they can be like an hour or 2 hours long. So like I'll have that on when I'm like either when I'm winding down in the evening or if I'm doing some graphic work or emailing or doing whatever.
Yeah, that's what
actual podcasts. No, not really. Like I'm not signed up to any podcast programs like software or anything like that. I just catch the 5-star potential on Mondays.
That's what
most Mondays.
Boy.
Most Mondays and one Tuesday. You get it when you get it. It's free content.
Joe, Dupe, you got any other podcasts that we've not mentioned previously that you listen to, or? I think we probably mentioned
I
most of
started
it.
listening to Tony Jameson's one this morning.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which one was that? Because it wasn't his newest I was listening to. It was the one before.
No, I literally started listening to it this morning, like episode 1.
Oh, okay.
Good. Enjoy it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
He's a good lad.
See if the film wanker talks up a good game.
Yeah. I'll have to give it a listen. I'll have to put it on. What's it on? Like, what platforms?
It's on Apple. Yeah, it's on
On
Apple.
Spotify,
Football
no?
Manager
Yeah,
Therapy.
it's Spotify.
Oh,
yeah,
I'll
it's
give it a
on
listen.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Football Manager Therapy or whatever it's called, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give that a listen. See what it's like. But Dan, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been really good to chat. Obviously, get your thoughts and everything. Obviously, see what's happened over lockdown. If people wish to find you, if they haven't already caught you on Twitch or Twitter or whatever, where's the best place?
It's just Viking Dan on Twitch and Viking Dan TV on Twitter.
Perfect. We'll make sure we leave a link to that in the description down below. But that is the end of episode. Was it 12? Yeah, episode 12 of the 5-star, or was it 11? Yeah, 12. A 5-star potential podcast social. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it today. As always, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the WeStream FM channel. The links to all of us are in the description, and of course the professionals as well. If there is someone that you want to reach out to, you need some help with something, obviously please do that. And of course the WeStream FM email address as well, info@westreamfm.com. But until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. And we'll see you all very soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
It's easy for you to say. Goodbye.